The androids awaken. Thankfully, everyone is prepared for this, with Goku even remembering to take his heart virus medicine. Although, that preparation still doesn't seem like it's enough. The group was just barely able to hold off the androids, but not completely defeat them. However, if they get a little bit stronger, then they would be able to win. But it seems the androids aren't the only enemies that they'll have to face. Piccolo fused with Kami, and notes a strange presence. Something is very off. We'll be discussing all this and more in part 3 of What If Goku Found Broly Early. Piccolo goes to check out that weird presence, but as he tries to find it, he notices something else. There's 2 weird powers nearby, but he can't really put his finger on what they are. One is very subtle, and one's more pronounced than the others. Of course, these powers show up at the worst time. As he leaves the lookout, the rest of the group decides what to do. Some of them are going to go in the time chamber for a bit, but they don't really need too much time, they think. They almost did overcome the androids, and it might be better to get this done sooner rather than later, which, admittedly, they should have just done in the first place. Stopping the androids before they were a problem, but hindsight is 20/20. So instead of everyone spending a day in the time chamber, they decide maybe they only need a few hours each, rotating in and out. And if it turns out they do need more time, well, that's fine. They'll be able to just go right back in. This way everyone can regroup after some time has passed in there, and if anyone discovers anything interesting, everyone else will be able to hear it. The first ones to go in are BROLY and Paragus. BROLY would probably benefit the most from this training anyways. And they're not too sure who should go in with, but Paragus decides to do this. BROLY does have his trainings with Goku in mind. He knows by now the best ways to train himself. He doesn't necessarily need a strong training partner. And as for Paragus, he's still looking towards Super Saiyan. This will help push him over the edge, and maybe he'll be able to get a control on Broly's anger. But they're wondering exactly how he's going to do that, especially considering his methods beforehand. But he tells everybody, he does know Broly best after all. And he assures them, he'll know a way around this. And he says to himself, he'll become a Super Saiyan, and he'll use that power to defeat not only the androids, but Vegeta too. Meanwhile, Piccolo arrives on the surface, going to a city where it's completely empty, and of course he encounters Cell. And at first this encounter goes very normally, although at some point in the battle, Cell notices something really strange, and Piccolo notes it too. It's that same presence he felt from before, and he asks Cell, does he have any clue of what that is? And Cell is equally confused. No, he senses this. The energy disappears not too long after, but Cell looks very worried for some reason, and Piccolo can't really see why. What, is he scared that another person is going to defeat him somehow? And Cell says it's not that, no. That energy that he felt, it feels so similar. And Piccolo asks what he knows. But once that other key signature disappears and he's back to sensing Cell, he comes to a pretty terrifying conclusion. Both of the key signatures feel very familiar. That other one that he was sensing, it felt kind of like Cell here. Different, but very similar still. He grabs Cell, asking him what he knows. And Cell says he's truly dumbfounded. It can't be him. If that's actually him that they're sensing, that makes no sense at all. I mean, he shouldn't have awoken for another few years. Even longer, actually. There's no way he's woken in this timeline too. He's already explained to Piccolo that he's not actually from this timeline either. And Cell wonders, is this another android that he could probably absorb? Or maybe it's another version of himself that's awoken early somehow. One option could probably be very good for him. The other one, not so much. But what he does know is that he can't stick around here with Piccolo. He tries to create a distraction, using a solar flare to escape. He'll get the other 2 androids first. If that is another version of him that's running around somewhere, then as long as he becomes perfect first, he'll be fine. But still, what is that? Is it him from another timeline? Or is it another version of Cell that's not like him at all? Not long after Cell disappears, some of the others from the lookout come down to where Piccolo is. Mainly because Vegeta wanted to see what was going on, and Trunks followed him too. Vegeta's pretty pissed off that he didn't get to go in the room Spirit in time first, but whatever. This might actually be good. He'll get to see how Broly grows, and be able to adapt to that. He'll have the upper hand anyways. A few hours pass. Piccolo continues looking for the other androids. Even if he can't defeat Cell right now, he could probably defeat 17 and 18. Probably 16 too. He's not entirely sure though, he can't really sense their ki after all. As he looks for them, Broly and Paragus eventually exit the time chamber. And Paragus reveals this was just what they needed. Both of them have achieved Super Saiyan. And Paragus shows off. It's not incredibly strong compared to the other Super Saiyans, but still, another Super Saiyan? That might be helpful here. But Paragus is still pissed off because he knows everyone's underestimating him. They're more interested in seeing that Broly has Super Saiyan. And he does, and he has some control over it. Thanks to him already having controlled Wrathful before, he's able to actually kind of somewhat control Super Saiyan. But there are points where he might end up going berserk, so Paragus decided it probably wasn't best to push Broly too far in the time chamber. Especially because if Broly went berserk while in Super Saiyan, there would be no one there to bail him out, and Paragus would be dead, and Broly would be trapped in there probably. Not good. Goku was actually right, as much as Paragus hates to admit it. Paragus used his own knowledge of Broly, as well as any methods that he learned from Goku, and used that to train Broly to get Super Saiyan. Broly's insane growth allowed him to gain a new power without too much time in there. And now Vegeta and Trunks can head in, with Vegeta now knowing what level he has to surpass. If Broly's a Super Saiyan, well, Vegeta will just go beyond Super Saiyan. Broly and Paragus join Piccolo, as Goku and Gohan stay on the lookout training a little bit. A few hours pass. Vegeta and Trunks are about to exit too. At some point, Piccolo is able to find the androids, and this won't be too bad. With Broly and Paragus on his side, mainly Broly, they'll be able to defeat the androids very easily. First, they can kill 16, 17, and 18, and then Cell. The androids are amused to see these three again, telling them they're a little cocky trying to fight on their own. Last time they had a whole group and they couldn't even win. What makes them think they're going to win this time? Well, Piccolo powers up, immediately attacking 17, with 17 realizing the difference in power. Paragus then transforms into Super Saiyan, rushing in towards 18, while Broly then goes to fight 16. And he doesn't even transform, not into Wrathful either. He's just using his base power. At least for now. The androids are dumbfounded. How did they get this strong this quickly? There was such a gap in power before, this makes no sense. This fight goes pretty quickly. Especially with everyone here, they decide to all team up on one android first, which means they aim for 17, and they have the androids cornered. Broly tries to hold off 16 and 18 together, while also assisting Paragus and Piccolo as they try and fight 17, and they're about to land a finishing blow on him. But as Broly's holding off the other two androids, someone then punches him. Not doing too much damage, but Broly immediately gets back up, powering into Wrathful. Super Saiyan might be a little risky, but he could use this at least. He rushes back in immediately, and starts fighting Cell, and Broly notes something strange. Cell's power. Does he have his ki within him? That makes no sense. How did Cell get his energy if he's from another timeline? He holds off Cell, and Piccolo and Paragus have to divert their attention, going to fight Cell as well. They can't let him absorb any of the androids. But amidst the fight, they feel another power surge nearby. Looking over, they see 17's disappeared, and Cell is standing there. Wait, what? They're fighting Cell though. And then they realize. It's like Piccolo and Cell theorized before. There's two Cells here. But then, who is this other one? And why does he have Broly's power too? One Cell is able to absorb Android 17, and one is able to absorb Android 18. Oh crap. As the two Cells power up, they stare each other down. Each sense the other one, knowing that they'd have to compete over the androids here. The Cell that absorbed Android 17 was the one that fought Piccolo, the one from the future. And he asks who the other Cell is. He says he didn't time travel here at all. No, he actually just awakened very recently. He tells the group, they probably should have checked on Jiro's lab. Future Cell's confused, how did he awaken so early? And Present Cell tells him, well, he's had a few different developments, thanks to the difference in timelines here. Jiro wanted to be extra prepared, so he wanted to make sure that Cell would awaken a lot sooner. Not to mention, he has a lot more data too, and that's why they sense Broly's power within him. He has Broly's DNA as well. He awakened a little bit earlier than the other androids, and he's mainly just been going around absorbing small animals and people to get power. And with DNA like Broly's, he's a lot stronger than the other Cell, even though they're both just in their semi-perfect form. Future Cell tries to fight Present Cell, and immediately it's clear that there's a gap in power. He can't believe it. There's no way there's another Cell that's stronger than him. He's supposed to be the perfect android. There can't be two perfect androids. Piccolo, Broly, and Paragus stand back, with 16 joining them too, angered that he couldn't protect the other two androids. He looks over at them. They're not going to like this idea, but maybe if they team up, combining all their powers, they could at least try and defeat one Cell. And this might be a blessing in disguise. This means neither of the Cells could transform into their perfect state, because each of them is missing an android. But Piccolo questions this. He's an android too. Can't one of the Cells just absorb him? But 16's purely mechanical. He says they don't need to worry about that. And he will assist them in this. Even though his main objective is Goku, Cell is getting in the way of that objective. So he'll need to deal with that. Both Cells actually. Present Cell tells Future Cell he's superior. He has Broly's power. He awakened earlier for a reason. And you know, even though he's missing one android, well, if he absorbs Future Cell, he'll probably still transform into his perfect state, and he'll get some extra power from Future Cell as well. It'll be a win-win. The rest of the group over there then jumps in, fighting Future Cell. They're going to aim for him first, because maybe they can work with Future Cell. If they team up against the stronger Cell first, that might be better. If they team up against the weaker one, well, that would make no difference. That would mean Present Cell would just end up winning, absorbing the other Cell. This way, they at least have a better chance of killing one of the Cells. Of course, Future Cell doesn't really like this idea. But 16 tells him, this is the only way he's going to survive. Just work with them for now. Cell can't believe this. He has to lower himself to this, and it's not like he really has a choice. He wanted to fight the other Cell alone, but he definitely can't win. And if he tries to kill them, he's going to leave an opening for the other Cell to absorb him. Whatever, he swallows his pride and joins in on the battle. Broly even powers up into Super Saiyan, showing it off much to everyone's surprise. And he's maintaining some control over it, but still, he has to hold back a little bit of his power because if he uses too much, he might go berserk. And Present Cell tries to coax him into using more of it. This is interesting. None of his data with Broly showed that he had Super Saiyan. Maybe he awakened a bit too early. But hey, he does have Broly's DNA after all, so he'll grow just as fast as he can. Paragus looks over to Broly. He should try and use his full power here. But Broly's concerned. If he does that, he doesn't know what's going to happen. It might help against Cell, but it could end up killing everyone else too. But Paragus tells him, if that Cell has Broly's power, he's going to be growing incredibly quick. It's now or never. If they don't stop him at this moment, who knows how strong he'll grow, and they'll never have another opportunity to defeat him. He tells Broly he's learned to control his anger before. Maybe he could do that, and worst case, they'll figure out a way to stop him. But for now, he just needs to use that power. That way they could turn the tides of this fight. Broly's still hesitant, and he was kind of looking forward to using Super Saiyan normally in this battle, but it seems there's no choice. He powers up even more. A greenish aura surrounds him. His eyes go blank, and his hair, it turns from a golden color to a greenish color. Piccolo, 16, and Future Cell stand back, amazed at this power. With present Cell taunting Broly, he can't wait against to fight someone that's his equal like that. But something's wrong. Broly's powering up far beyond where he ever expected. He didn't even know Broly had Super Saiyan here just yet. But this isn't even Super Saiyan that he's using right now. It's a new version of Super Saiyan, his own version of it. Broly's become completely berserk, but at the same time, he's grown significantly, both in terms of power and in actual size. This is Broly's full power version of Super Saiyan, completely uncontrolled and unrestrained. Thankfully, with him even being blinded by his rage, he's still able to tell that Cell's his main target. And Cell continues growing significantly during the battle, and even with some of the damage he's taking from Broly, he regenerates from it, even growing stronger from that too. But unlike the other androids, he can be worn out. Future Cell tells everyone he doesn't have infinite energy like the other androids. His regeneration's only going to go so far, and as much as he hates to reveal it, he tells them, as long as they can destroy Cell's core, that will allow them to win here. He realizes he's giving his own weakness up this way too, but he'll figure out something about it later. And now, present Cell's actually being pushed back significantly. Not only is he facing Broly's full power, but still he's also fighting Paragus, Piccolo, Future Cell, and 16. Their combined power is overwhelming present Cell, and they know his weakness too. Broly charges in, using all of his power to launch towards present Cell, charging a mouth beam and launching it point blank. The force of it is so strong that it pushes Broly back, and Paragus tells everyone, this is their call. Now's the time to use their power too and assist Broly. Together, everyone launches a full power blast, combining with Broly's and destroying present Cell. Broly then stands there victorious, screaming, but he looks around at everyone else, immediately launching in towards them, attacking the others next. Piccolo's concerned. What the hell are they supposed to do now? But luckily for them, Broly's first target is Future Cell. Immediately, Future Cell launches away, flying out into space. He's got to retreat here. There's no way he'll win against them like this. But he realizes as he flies out into space, Broly's still following him. Broly flies out of the atmosphere, with Piccolo and Paragus chasing after him. He's gonna die if he goes out there. But this ends up actually working. Broly makes it out into space, briefly, and he starts to feel lightheaded. With a lack of oxygen, he feels a lot weaker, and then he fades into unconsciousness, falling back down to Earth, with Cell watching on. Oh, he didn't even really intend to do that. He flies back down to Earth, as Piccolo and Paragus catch Broly and land on the surface where 16 is. Cell then lands nearby, and he tells them, in all honesty, he kinda had fun with that battle. He's annoyed that he couldn't get his perfect form, but he feels like he can get it eventually, and because of that, he's not gonna kill them here and now. With Broly now unconscious, Cell could probably easily win here. Consider this a favor, for them helping him against the other Cell. And amidst their talk, Vegeta and Trunks eventually arrive, having now just left the room of Spirit and Time, switching out with Goku and Gohan, with both in Super Saiyan. They're confused seeing Cell and the fact that 2 of the androids are missing, and they don't even have time to get a word in. Cell simply smirks, jumping back up into the air, rocketing out in space too fast for anyone to even counter him. Cell thinks to himself, it would be more fun to not kill them after all. This group would be a great way to test his strength in the future. Not to mention, amidst his fight with the other Cell, he was able to actually stab present Cell at one point, stealing a very minute amount of his energy, which means he has some of that DNA too. Maybe he could utilize Broly's great potential for himself now, although he's not too sure how much data he actually got from the other Cell by absorbing his DNA. Time will tell though. He'll remain in space for the time being, training and growing stronger. After all, if he stays there, they'll definitely find a way to kill him. They know his weakness too, so maybe he should try and work around that as well. Vegeta and Trunks look on dumbfounded, asking what the hell happened here, and Piccolo simply responds, he doesn't know either. Paragus powers down, lifting up Broly, and they all look over at 16. He is a bit broken up from that battle after all, and thankfully he's not attacking them or anything right now. Vegeta lifts a hand up, ready to kill 16, but Piccolo actually stops him. Vegeta asks what he's doing, and Trunks does too, but Piccolo has a better idea. He decides to make a bargain with 16. He can get 16 the repairs that he needs, if he's willing to be reprogrammed. Naturally, 16 turns this down, but also knows that if he doesn't do this, he's good as dead. So reluctantly, he ends up agreeing to it. Seeing at this rate, with how powerful everyone else is here, and not knowing what Goku's up to, he probably won't be able to defeat Goku anyways. So with a very different and odd Cell saga, and Android saga for that matter, this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next time with everyone in the story, especially now with 16 and future Cell being involved? Let me know any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. And if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and subscribe if you haven't already as well. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.